Hi there, this is Dennis Velko with Out Bureau. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Out Bureau Voices, where we're bringing you interesting and lively conversations with LGBT entrepreneurs, professionals, and community leaders from around the world. Today, we're very happy to have Miles Myers of Superbia Services back with us. And when I say back with us, we actually did a written article about Superbia Services almost 2 years ago. We'll have a link to that article down below. And while we're pointing here and you're looking below, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to ensure that you are notified of all future episodes that come out. Do hit that bell to make sure that you are proactively notified as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Miles. I'm so pleased to catch up with you today.
Thanks for having me, Dennis. This is great to return and talk to you again.
Well, absolutely. I so much appreciate it. And as we had briefly discussed just before jumping on our recording, we thought we'd first start out with this first segment to almost do a bit of a recap. It has been 2 years, but giving a little bit more in this episode about kind of the whys, the hows, and the history of Superbia Financial or Superbia Services. So, Miles, give us a little bit of information about your background and how this came to be.
Certainly. I've worked in financial services my entire career, effectively, and that's spanning now close to 30 years. In those financial services, I've had a lot of opportunity to look across both the markets in Canada and the US. My career is from the Canadian marketplace, but with a lot of experience working for in insurance and financial institutions in the US, and working at an organization that had a membership cooperative structure. And in looking at that, the strategies for that organization, I was looking at how cooperatives in financial industry were helping the community. And I discovered in 2015 that there were no cooperatives that were helping the community. And as people might know, a cooperative really is a way to serve a community that is underserved, that is marginalized in having financial services, and is owned by the community that it serves. And so that's really where the idea for Superbia Services sparked, which was looking at how the amount of opportunity that can come in helping a community from working with all of the activity that happens in financial services for the LGBTQ community and putting it back into first benefit for the community. So that sparked the idea for bringing financial services to the community, because there was just nothing out there that was responding to the need.
Oh, very interesting. And of course, when we say the cooperative, is Superbia for Financial, a common term would be kind of the credit union?
Right. So this is the idea was sparked around starting the credit union, right? And so this is Superbia Credit Union, which is, of course, we got our charter last year from the state of Michigan on the 9th of September. And we are working very diligently to bring that credit union into the marketplace. We have a number of operational approvals that are required by the regulators. So before we can begin to operate the credit union, we are seeking those approvals for operating. But this is where the idea for Superbia Services started, with the credit union. But it quickly grew into other services, other verticals in financial services. Because when you look across the spectrum of life insurance, health insurance, wealth management, even into parts of healthcare, there is such a need to respond to what's happening in the community that is not being addressed in financial services. And this is where Superbia Services comes in. We look across that spectrum of financial services, and we develop and put in place the response for the community in life insurance, health insurance, and wealth management. And the credit union is a big part of our response, but it is quite separate because it is a cooperative. It is important that it is a cooperative because it is owned by its members. And so the community really participates in the ownership and in the success of the credit union. Because through the programs that are available as member benefits in the credit union and through a democratic process, you can be voted into being part of the board of the credit union. So the community really does own and operate that credit union over a period of time. That's exactly how this will happen.
Oh, okay. And so, obviously being an entrepreneur yourself, being an entrepreneur, and of course our global audience is focused on the professional side of life, but with a keen focus on the entrepreneurs. Just out of curiosity, will the credit union also offer perhaps business side of things? Some credit unions I'm aware, like local credit unions, some do, some don't. So just out of curiosity.
So we will be offering a full suite of services. So this would include small business banking for the LGBTQ community. And we can do that through the credit union. Yeah. We can do that through the credit union, and we can do that through other means that we have in Superbia Services. So we do talk about the fact that we have a number of capabilities because of the structure and the uniqueness of Superbia Services. We refer to it as the branded house of Superbia. It allows us to go in and look at what the actual issue is in the community, where the discrimination and the bias is happening. And we can bring a solution to that issue because we have a number of different ways in which we can attack that problem.
And so the last time that we spoke, it was almost 2 years ago now. You were waiting on the charter that you mentioned happened that September, or so is any portion of Superbia Financial like operational today, or are you still in the building it phase?
No, we launched on the 1st of July. So if we think about the House of Superbia, made up of a number of different entities, and that being the credit union, a foundation, and a membership organization, the National Association. That National Association was launched on the 1st of July. And to actually great acceptance into the marketplace. And people can join Superbia at superbia.org, and this is where you go and you become a part of this new era of problem solving and giving acceleration to the equality in economic and social capabilities for the community, and bringing the solution into the power of the community by acting in and around the unification of voice, of the social good works, and of bringing our money together, and then utilizing that all in the first benefit to the community. That's really the power of the Superbia Services model. It's an instrument in the hands of the community, and the more that we use it, the greater it works.
Right. Absolutely. I can totally understand that. And part of, putting it in the hands of a community, being that this is a national, mostly online, I think that you mean that quite literally as well, correct?
Right.
Isn't this mostly, banking online?
Right. As a virtual organization, it's important for us to be virtual because, especially during this period, where people are looking to transact in an online way for their financial services and to find and seek those services. It is important that we reach as much as the community as possible. And we're not going to look at establishing bricks and mortar branches across the country. That is a model that doesn't really work in today's modern world of transacting. I think if we were to look at the number of people that are marching into branches of any kind of financial institution, that has gone way down. So, that is not where we're focused. We're focused on bringing the power of Superbia Services and its offerings to as many people as possible, and reaching them in the middle of the country, in the middle of a city, wherever you might be. 37% of the community lives in the South, for instance, and there aren't as many major cities down there. People are living, they live where they live, right? And we
Right.
want to reach them where they live. And that's why it's important to be virtual. And we can build and offer every kind of financial service online.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, there are some folks who do work even in their business in high cash environments, hairstylists, go-go boys. But just out of curiosity, so for those businesses, or let's just say you do a garage sale and end up with a nice, $1,000 to $2,000 in cash. How would someone have the opportunity to still deposit those funds? Is there like a network of partnerships that you have? Or would they need a separate like local banking account in order to mostly manage their cash transactions?
No, we can accommodate that. We work with a network of ATMs and providers that allow us to take those types of cash deposits.
Oh, okay. Well, wonderful. And this is a U.S. chartered, just for clarity for our viewing and listening audience. And but I'm sure you'll have people from around the globe watching this as it unfolds, and obviously people interested in establishing a similar style banking operations for the LGBT community in other countries. Guess who you contact, folks? Miles, right? Wouldn't that be amazing to have a network of LGBT financial institutions spanning the globe, and Superbia Financial being the inspiration and the crux of that?
Well, I'll tell you, we have had a lot of global attention. When we received the charter last year on the 9th of September 2019, the news of the charter did go global. And we had press in countries like Nigeria, Jordan, in Russia, in the Taipei Times, the UK, of course, Ireland, Romania, Brazil. If you could, I think we were on every continent.
Wow.
Except for Antarctica, where those penguins are.
That is discrimination. Those gay penguins need a financial institution as well that they feel comfortable with.
But we did also have interest from both public and private entities that reached out to us and asked about bringing the Superbia model to their country.
Really?
And yes, we did. And ministers in government office that I went and spoke to about how this model would help the community and, frankly, other marginalized communities. So the model that we have constructed here is very unique. It works for the benefit of the community that it serves. And it's important that there is a real balance in that model between the ability to raise the money to provide the benefits and to tightly align to the values of that community. And so with Superbia Services, we are really an authentic part of the community because we are here for the community. We don't put a product into the marketplace that isn't there to solve an issue. To be honest, the world probably does not need another bank or insurance company, but the world does need one that is focused in serving this community.
I think that's a very good statement to make. And as you were talking, my brain kind of went to thinking about how banking actually started to begin with. Banking didn't start off as a global conglomerate system like Citibanks, Deutsche Banks, HBCs, and Bank of Americas of the world, right? All of those banks and all the banks out there, first and foremost, they're originated as community banks, right? They served their local community. And it was just then through the acquisitions and mergers and so forth that this city bank then merged with that city bank or that other city. And when I say city with a Y, folks, that local bank with that local bank with that local bank in order to further grow. So you're really, in a way, you're starting at the where banking's foundation was, and that was to be a service to their community. You
Right,
know.
and especially with the credit union. Um, the credit unions in particular, the movement, the credit union movement is there to help community, to help people that are commonly bonded together.
Hmm.
The LGBTQ community and our allies, frankly, are very bonded together. We are an inclusive organization. Yes, we focus and we are determined to eradicate discrimination around LGBTQ biases, discrimination, intolerance in the process, in the decisions, and in the experience. But we accept everyone that wants to support our mission and that is behind the equality of the community. So we welcome those that are part of our ally group and
Sure.
want to see the success of the community. That's where the cooperative is very beneficial. It allows everyone to come together and to support through the Superbia Credit Union the mission, very closely related by being a member owner of the credit union.
Awesome. Well, you're definitely I obviously think you're on to something. And it's going to be very interesting to see, to watch how this grows, and to get the word out. So there's many organizations that I'm sure is on your list to reach out to, such as chambers of commerce, Start Out, for example, startout.org. Andre, the executive director there, and of course all of the various again chambers of commerce. So that could be a really interesting opportunity for entrepreneurs getting involved with their community. So I'm sure there's on your focus, but if not, definitely needs to be. And
Started as a place that really initiated a lot of my integration with the business community in New York, the LGBTQ entrepreneurs in New York. Wasim and Andre were very good in welcoming me and making introductions. So absolutely, Start Out is a place that I have a lot of respect for. They do a wonderful job, I think.
oh, well, super duper. Well, I know you have another meeting coming up here in just a few moments. So thank you so much for giving us a brief overview of Superbia Services. We're going to be very interested to watch how this grows. And of course, at any time you'd like to make announcements and so forth, would love for you just to reach out and let me know. We'll be happy to schedule some additional time to have you on as you're announcing new products and services, or even just milestones. Come on board and tout the success of something happening. So would love to have you back. Well, you have been listening to Miles Myers of Superbia Financial. Go ahead and check out the show notes below for links to Superbia Services, as well as the past article that we wrote nearly 2 years ago on it, when it was still quite young. And stay tuned, as we have more coming to you here shortly. This is Dennis Velko with Out Bureau Voices. Thank you so much, Miles.
Thank you.
Alrighty, bye-bye.